Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Jim's Movie Musings, where today I'll be reviewing the Netflix release White Tiger, which is directed and adapted for the screen by Ramin Bahrani from the book by Arvind Adiga. It's an Indian film, though at least half of it's in English, so it's clearly made for English-speaking audiences. And it kind of has or seems to have ambitions of being for India what Parasite was for South Korea. It's the story of Balram, a young man who hails from what appears to be the poorest part of India, played by Adarsh Gourav. And this guy seems to have aspirations of basically getting out of poverty by any means necessary, which is not a bad thing. Unfortunately, and spoiler alert, in the course of the story, the guy basically lies, cheats, steals, and ultimately murders his way out of poverty. Okay. And, well, it's not a particularly off-putting story. I mean, it's certainly not the first time Hollywood or anyone else has tried to tell a story like that. But the problem with this movie that I see is that it seems to frame this guy's descent into complete and utter depravity in terms of somebody's triumphant rise from destitution. I mean, that, okay, for me, you know, that was really problematic. I mean, I'm not so obtuse to think that we're supposed to take this movie at face value, okay, that this is some kind of hero's journey, because the movie is fairly honest in its intentions. It's not there to entertain, but rather to provoke. Now, that said, okay, the movie clearly tries, the filmmakers clearly try to get us, the viewers, to sympathize with Balram. You know, I mean, they make his employer, okay, Ashok, played by Rajkummar Rao, to be this complete and utter douchebag, such that you'd want to see what happens to him in the end. And there's a pivotal scene in the film where Ashok's wife, played by producer of this film, Priyanka Chopra, actually takes over from Balram while he's driving, while she happens to be stone drunk and ends up killing somebody. This is a scene that figured quite prominently in the marketing material. Basically, you're meant to sympathize with Balram because otherwise his rich employers are going to screw him over. Oh, I get that. Okay, I get that. I get the tone the movie is trying to set. I get that there's some, and again, the parallels to Parasite are inevitable. You got a poor guy working, and a driver, just like the dad in Parasite. You got a poor guy under the heel of a rich guy, and ultimately finds only one way out of his problem. Okay? That's where the parallels end, because Parasite was utterly superior. Okay? I mean, this Parasite, if you'll recall, this was a movie about a family of con artists who grifted their way into a rich family's hearts, and things ended up going batshit crazy. This film does not have anywhere near the finesse of Parasite. Okay, so the guy who plays Balram is kind of a sympathetic character, and I think it helps that he looks a little goofy, so the film doesn't feel too dark. Okay, and it helps that he turns in a sympathetic portrayal, or as much as he can manage given the script he's working with. But ultimately it fails. Okay? Like I said, this is not a movie that's meant to entertain. It's not an MCU movie. It's not a Pixar cartoon. I get that. But coming on the heels of something like Parasite, which did this whole rich versus poor thing so much better. Okay, I'm sorry, but Netflix, I mean, you guys got a second-rate Parasite. Okay? I mean, that's all I can say. Okay, nice try, but next time maybe you should aim a little higher. All right? So, as ambitious as White Tiger's aspirations may be, Okay, and as ambitious as some of its goals are, it falls woefully short. Okay, so I'm gonna have to give this movie a 6 out of 10. Okay, that's all for today. And if you like what you've seen, hit the like button and the subscribe one as well. Thanks.